when you were explaining the frequency of like why the spaces between each note, and then when the fifths and the sevenths actually are
like
created.
Harmonic complexity, the Harmonic series.
Yes.
That's my whole like religion. It's easy for me to kind of not get caught up in a lot of like bullshit, like cult of personality bullshit, like fandom standing different people or like or different, like, you know, like I talk a lot about like new age spirituality and stuff like that, but always like with a grain of salt. And I think that's
probably the best way to do it.
Because there's real tangible things about, I guess, a tenet of New Age spirituality when it comes to people like John Coltrane and his circle, like where it's tangible. You can actually see you can hear and see like the meaning behind it.
There's something about the TRAPPIST-1 system. I was just watching this thing.
What is that?
It's a star system. If you look up TRAPPIST-1 resonant orbits, there's this thing where it's like all of the stars, like planets and you know, sub-asteroids and like bodies that orbit it, all orbit in intervals that are like part of that harmonic series stuff that I was doing on guitar. And so like they actually put like notes to every time, you know, one of them goes around, and then beats to every time some of them line up, and it actually sounds musical.
That's weird. That is insane. Well,
that's so cool.
That's one of those true things of like, because
it's math. Like that's all that harmony is.
Right. Who's dickhead mustache science guy? Kind of really
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Cuck. Throw that in there.
He has the whole thing where he's like, you know, these things are really advanced, but they work within these simple systems.
Yeah.
Obviously, the mathematics and the science behind, you know, the physics involved with understanding how like movement between planets, how gravity responds to them being certain masses is really advanced. But when you just break it down to the visuals, and when you put it to music, you go, it's all
an analogy for things you can find in harmony.
Right.
Like like is all an iteration of what waves do when they interact. If you look at any animal and you look at like kinetic wave interference patterns of like you drop sand on a plate and then play different frequencies at it, and it makes all those shapes. It's like animal fur patterns or like turtle shell patterns, or like, you know, nature is just waves. It's just waves interacting in a lot of interesting ways.
You look at the back of a leaf, or like how a cactus grows, like the geometric patterns of that. Like, is that kind of on the same?
Well, when you open a tree and it's
or
like these
you know,
little
phi
circles.
is like a mathematic constant, like the Fibonacci sequence and all that shit. The harmonic series is a really similar thing. There's a thing called Zipf's law that in every language, there's like the distribution of words is always like there will be one that has, you know, 1%, and then the next one will be half of it, and then the next one will be a third of it, and then the next one will be a quarter of it. And like etc. And it's like, and you could actually, and this is like true across, like I'm pretty sure like every language that we've studied it for, and a bunch of non-linguistic areas too. Like the balance of like the organic substances in your cells that it likes to keep. You know, like so much water versus so much this versus so much that.
Right. It's all this very strange.
It's all approximating whole number ratios is the thing, which is what the harmonic series is.